Florida's housing dream is dying fast. Foreclosures have exploded across the Sunshine State, with brutal 40% price drops already hitting cities like St. Petersburg and Cape Coral. Sellers are underwater by hundreds of thousands, inventory is at a 10-year high, and out-of-state buyers have vanished 93% from pandemic peaks. According to Reventure App's latest analysis, Florida's market remains 10% overvalued despite the carnage, setting the stage for even deeper corrections in 2026. This isn't a dip. It's a full collapse unfolding right now, crushing families, builders, and investors alike. Behind the beaches and sunshine, the warning signs are screaming: endless listings, skyrocketing insurance, and foreclosures leading the nation. Stick around as we break down the forces driving this implosion, from migration reversals to hidden cost bombs. Could your Florida investment be next? Hit subscribe to Housing Intel for data-driven intel that protects your money in these volatile times. The foreclosure surge isn't hypothetical. It's here. Adam Data Solutions reports Florida topping national foreclosure lists, with short sales and notices surging 30% year over year. In St. Petersburg alone, median prices have plunged from $550,000 to under $400,000, a 27% wipeout. Homeowners who bought at the peak are now facing $300,000 losses just to exit. Local workers, stretched by 7% mortgage rates and insurance premiums topping $10,000 annually, can't keep up. Builders are slashing prices by $60,000 on new inventory, but demand has evaporated. If you're eyeing Florida real estate, this is your wake-up call. Tap subscribe to Housing Intel and ring the bell. You won't want to miss weekly breakdowns like this. Migration, the lifeblood of Florida's boom, has reversed catastrophically. Realtor.com data shows out-of-state inflows down 93% from 2021 highs, the lowest since 2009. New Yorkers and Californians aren't coming anymore. They're fleeing back north. Why? Costs are suffocating. Property taxes averaging $6,000 yearly, HOA fees climbing to $500 monthly, and insurance rates doubled since 2022. In Broward County, net domestic migration flipped negative for the first time in decades. Families are packing up, leaving behind half-built subdivisions and ghosted rentals. The math doesn't add up anymore. Median homes at $480,000 against $68,000 local incomes create a brutal affordability gap. This exodus is accelerating the death spiral, flooding the market with desperate sellers. Want to spot the next exit wave early? Subscribe to Housing Intel now. Inventory tells the real horror story. 158,000 active listings statewide, the highest in a decade, while sales hit 12-year lows per Redfin. Homes languish 60-plus days on market, up from 20 last year. In Cape Coral, listings doubled to 4,000, with 40% featuring price cuts averaging $15,000. Sarasota's luxury condos, once flipping for profit, now sit empty as HOA fees devour cash flow. Overbuilding from the pandemic frenzy haunts the state. 40,000 new units in Southwest Florida alone since 2021, but no buyers in sight. Sellers are choking on holding costs, forced into auctions where bids fall 30% below ask. The supply-demand mismatch is crushing values coast to coast. This intelligence could save you from a bad bet. Hit that like button if it's hitting home, and subscribe for more. Zoom into the worst-hit regions, and the picture darkens. St. Petersburg's coastal markets lead the plunge, 27% off peaks, with foreclosures up 50%. Tampa Bay suburbs like Riverview drown in investor retreats. Cash buyers who fueled the run-up are dumping rentals at 20% losses. Miami-Dade defies the hype. Sales at 13-year lows despite $400,000 medians as foreign capital dries up. Inland Ocala sees rural exodus, with prices down 18% amid job losses in construction. Even Orlando's theme park Glow fades, family homes overbuilt, now discounted by $40,000. Each hotspot shares the same killers: flood insurance rejections, utility hookup fees hitting $30,000, and crime spikes in over-leveraged neighborhoods. No corner of Florida is immune. The crash ripples from Panhandle to Keys. Hidden burdens are the silent executioners. Property taxes have ballooned to over $6,000 annually in Pinellas County, up 20% since 2023. Insurance? A nightmare. Average policies now $12,000 for hurricane zones, with carriers fleeing the state entirely. Some homeowners pay via high-risk pools at double rates. HOAs add insult, $300 to $600 monthly in popular communities, funding pools no one uses anymore. Schools reflect the outflow, 13,000 fewer students in Pinellas this year, signaling family flight. Infrastructure crumbles too. Sinkholes in Central Florida, sewage spills in Miami beaches. These aren't headlines. They're balance sheet killers turning positive equity into red ink overnight. Knowledge like this separates winners from wipeouts. Drop a comment. Which factor scares you most? Subscribe to stay armed. Projections scream caution. ReventurePeg's Florida 10% overvalued, primed for another 20 to 30% correction if rates stay above 6%. Federal Reserve signals no quick cuts, keeping affordability strangled. Investor retreats accelerate. 25% of sales now distressed. But glimmers exist. Homestead exemptions could cap taxes for primaries, luring cash buyers post-purge. Builders offer rate buydowns to 5%, but it's desperation masking oversupply. Watch foreclosure auctions for steals, but only if you're all cash. 2026 favors the patient and informed, not the hopeful. This breakdown positions you ahead. Smash like if it opened your eyes. The 2026 Florida foreclosure surge and 40% price drops are undeniable reality, not fear-mongering. From St. Pete's coastal carnage to Miami's stalled sales, inventory chokes the market while migration evaporates demand. Equity vanishes for peak buyers, families flee crushing costs, and investors race for exits. Builders panic with massive incentives, but the oversupply tsunami rolls on. No beachfront fantasy shields from this math. It's brutal, it's now, and it's statewide. Yet here's your edge. This data-driven intel lets you sidestep traps and hunt bargains amid the rubble. Knowledge isn't just power. It's protection in a market imploding before our eyes. Don't bet blind. Arm yourself with facts that cut through hype. If this exposed Florida's underbelly, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to Housing Intel for weekly crash updates, Fed breakdowns, and opportunity intel. Ring the bell, never miss a beat. Comment below, buying in Florida still or running for the hills? We read them all. See you next time, where we flip this to markets actually worth your cash.